Hi there, welcome to Terrorland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Leo energy. And the top row is going to be what some people are doing in their life, harnessing high vibe Leo energy. And the bottom row is going to be what some people could be doing in their life, harnessing a more worldly focused Leo energy or a much more shadowy Leo energy. High vibe Leo energy is about people who've gotten out of their pride and their ego and they've taken some inspired action to free themselves from some of their fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs to move forward in life differently. And we're continually doing that throughout our life. There's more people in the world who are more free and liberated than other people, and we can figure out where we are maybe in relation to some different people in our life. High vibe Leo is just willing to be more authentically yourself in the world, to have offered yourself love and compassion and forgiveness for some of the mistakes you've made in your life and the lessons you've had to learn, and realizing that everything kind of happens in our life if we're willing to grow and mature ourselves, things happen in our life for us to learn lessons from, and wanting us to see the truth that we deserve to love ourselves and treat ourselves with compassion and forgiveness, to offer love and compassion to others. This game of life isn't easy. And to free ourselves from the past and keep moving forward in life, believing in our dreams. And some people who are in shadowy energy might not want to do love because they could get hurt, and they just decided, I'd rather live my life any other way than being emotionally vulnerable and take a risk of being hurt. Some people are very prideful and egotistical, and they're in shadowy energy because they try to manipulate and control people and are bossy and controlling in life, and they got some hard life lessons to learn about that. Some people are all about driven and motivated by their ego. I want a certain status and image in the world. That's the most important thing to me. I don't care if I'm in jobs or careers with people I love or not. I just want the status and the image. Who can give me the status and the image? That's the most important thing. Who's going to give me the money? They're really aligned with their worldly nature. And then some people are just immature and they have a lot of life lessons to learn. So, oops. Okay. The high vibe people, have probably been in relationship with some people in their life who they see as prideful and egotistical, or they were that way themselves, whatever the case might be, or in their ego. High vibe people were bold and brave enough to take some creative, inspired action to get out of their inner conflict about the past, about other people in their life. If they've known some people that were kind of shadowy, they've gotten out of their inner conflict about it, and they're moving forward in life, looking to the future, looking to be in relationships with other people who have grown and matured themselves in the King of Wands. Some of you might be interested in an Aries, but you want to be in a relationship with people who harness high vibe Aries energy. And it's kind of interesting, I think we learn all these lessons in life, and some people have learned a lesson in their fiery energy. I can be passionate towards people, passionate towards a goal, wanting to accomplish something, but to realize that if I'm going to work together with other people to try to accomplish that goal, they have to be in harnessing high vibe King of Wands energy also, and they have to have learned some lessons about their fiery nature, which can be us getting caught up in the things of our worldly nature or our ego. And if we're going to work together with other people to really bring a dream into reality that's based on a foundation of love, we need to see the truth and listen to our intuition about the people in our life who harness shadowy, fiery energy. They're prideful, egotistical, bossy, controlling, manipulative, self-centered, more motivated by fear or insecurity or lust or greed or ego, self-centeredness, and it's not love. We need to listen to our intuition about who are the people who harness high vibe fiery energy, are bold and brave and confident and authentic and loving and warm, and look at life as an adventure to be lived. And who are the people who keep repeating a past pattern of way of living life out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego or fear of change? And what some people don't know about you, probably some of the people who are kind of shadowy in your life, is they don't understand how you get from point A to point B. They could have known. Shadowy people, if you get in a relationship with someone who's not operating from a foundation of love, they might not mind you being loving and generous and kind and encouraging and all those things, but they don't really want you to love and believe in yourself so much that you're more bold and brave and confident and healed than they are. And they can purposely do things to try to manipulate you, to cause you to have a lot of inner conflict about loving and believing in yourself, because they don't want to put in the same work and effort to free themselves that you're putting in to free yourself from your past, or your past pain and heartbreak, or your fears or your insecurities or self-limiting beliefs. And so they do these things to try to manipulate you and control you, to make you have all this inner conflict within yourself, to get you to focus on them. And if all those tactics don't work, they might put you in a competition with friends, family, other relationships, to try to get you in your ego, to make you focus on them. Well, they take action from ego. You are trying to take action from love. And that's the difference between people. What do you do when you have inner conflict? High vibe people take action from love. Being just, being fair, being balanced, being loving, being encouraging, being supportive. And the other people maybe either don't want to be just and fair, they like the scales tipped in their favor and for you to indulge them in their ego or whatever their issue is. They like to maybe be bossy and controlling. They have fear of change. Anyway, they take action that isn't loving. And eventually high vibe people see the truth of it, because the truth is what sets us free. Some of the shadowy people don't want to see the truth, that they do take action out of, not out of love, but out of ego or fear, or that they're bossy or controlling or egotistical or something. And high vibe people eventually see the truth, and they get out of their inner conflict about it and their ego. And it's like, I'm not going to fight with you anymore. To be loving is a free will choice. Do you choose love or not? I'm moving forward in love. And if you're not coming with, then you're not coming with. I'm bold and brave enough to not keep here and fight with people who don't want to choose love, or who want to try to cause me a lot of inner conflict, or being stubborn or prideful or defensive. I hope you work through it. I wish you peace. I'm moving on. And the reason you're able to move on is because what they don't know about you has something to do with these cards. What do we do when people emotionally confuse us? Do we keep staying defensive and trying to argue with them, and get them to see the light and the truth and face their fears and insecurities, to be bold and brave and educate themselves about their fears and insecurities? You've probably done that till you're blue in the face. And eventually it's like, I'm done. If you don't want to see, some people, have a lot of emotional confusion and they're defensive to dealing with those things, because they'd have to invest time, energy, and effort to deal with the things that they've kept buried beneath the surface. And people are either willing to put in the work and effort to deal with those things so that they can be free of it and move on. And some people just decide, no, I don't want to put in the work and effort. You just need to stop loving and believing in yourself, and you need to stop putting in work and effort to deal with your fears and insecurities. And we should just stay in a relationship, and you should just do life like I do, and quit listening to your intuition. Stay in a relationship because it looks stable and secure. Let's keep maintaining the illusion that we're moving forward and everything's wonderful. But, if you've been illuminated to the truth, and you don't want to live a life of illusion, and you've done work to free yourself from some of your fears and your insecurities, and ready to move forward in life in a more like bold, brave, confident way, and the other people aren't, because they could have thought, wasn't this the dream? Don't we get in a relationship because we're like emotionally confused and defensive of dealing with our issues, so we get in a relationship to feel better? We can all get in a relationship for those reasons. We all get in relationships and we're kind of have similar wounding as other people. The only thing is that some people, when they're in a relationship that, you know, all seems well, they're motivated and inspired to do this work within themselves. They don't want to keep carrying the same baggage that they've carried for the last 5 years or 10 years. They're motivated and inspired in their fiery energy to shed some of that shit. I don't want to be as fearful and insecure in the next 5 years as I was in the past 5 years. I don't want to carry around the same pain and heartbreak as I did previously. I want to let it go. And that can be the difference. Other people have a lot of fear about taking action on those things. I'm not sure why they would, but probably just because they would see the truth. And some people probably on a subconscious level know the truth of why they operate more from their ego and their defensiveness. It either has things to do with themselves that they don't want to see the truth of, or it could be people in their life who hurt them, and they don't want, they could still, love those people, and they can't kind of reconcile that within themselves, that there can be people that I love, but the very people I loved in my life made me defensive to being more bold and brave and confident in the world, made me defensive to love, caused me to bury a lot of like pain and heartbreak underneath the surface, and in order, because I love them and I still want them in my life, I don't want to see the truth, something like that. So what they don't know about you, they're emotionally confused and defensive of putting in work and effort to deal with their issues. And the difference is you can be emotionally confused too, but you see the truth that you do need to deal with those issues if you ever want to be free of them. And if you don't want to be enslaved by the same fears and insecurities, or making your life more about the world, and making your life more about, I don't know, instead of looking to yourself for empowerment and love and approval, you look to the world for the world to approve of you. And some people do that. It's all about how they look and how they present themselves to the world, and it's all about trying to get the world to validate them and approve of them, which is really all just in their mind, because I'm sure people aren't sending them letters every day saying we approve of you, and people aren't telling them, but it's all in their own mind. And the whole thing is, that's the Seven of Cups and the moon can be about being caught up in this illusion that this is what life is about, and it's like this unspoken thing that people keep moving forward with, that I have to have these other people in the world approve of me. Maybe those other, who knows what the hell those people think. Maybe they do approve of you, maybe they don't. But that's, they're fickle people just like us. They have their own dualistic nature. Who knows why they're going to think what they think? Are they going to be petty and envious and hurt one day, and the next day they're not going to approve of you because you are living your life a little bit differently than them, and they don't like it that you're being more bold and brave and confident? Really? It's kind of the herd mentality. If to me it seems like the herd is doing this, I don't want to step outside of societal norms. I must conform to the world because I don't want people to judge me. And some of you are like, oh my gosh, talk about stress when you have to try to make the whole world, or feel like you need to kind of conform to the world and stay within these certain invisible boundaries. But everybody has their own invisible boundary. Why do some people within the herd get to go out further than other people? It's like, oh, well, I can. Oh, but you can't. It's like, it ends up kind of being a clique club regardless. And it's like, I deserve to be free. I deserve to live my life authentically. And if I'm letting love and intuition to guide me, I don't think I should have anything to fear in the world. If other people have a problem, the fact that I'm being authentically myself, I'm treating people with kindness and respect, I'm not, I'm being a loving energy in the world. Why would people have a problem with that? Shockingly, a lot of people have a problem with that because in the herd mentality, some of those people are really constricted and confined and oppressed and limited by what they do in life, and they don't authentically live their life because they're conforming to the herd. And the fact that you're out there living your authentic life and not conforming to the herd, that enough is really enough to make the herd all angry at you. So, also, other people that you might want to be in a relationship with, they're limited and restricted by those things, and they haven't freed themselves, and they don't like it when you step outside, even though you're not doing anything wrong. You're just not making your life about trying to appease other people, and you're not like dimming your light. You're not creating this false persona in the world trying to appease to everyone, maybe. So they don't realize that some of those people might pop back up in your life because they see you moving forward and you seem to have freed yourself, and they don't like that, and they like to control you. And this can be a relationship partner, a former love partner, anyone else in the world who sees you moving forward victoriously. That it could be a friend, it could be a sibling, it could be there could be shadowy people in the world want to maybe align with other people who look like victorious in the world, but it is to maybe out of ego. If it's good for their ego and image to align with you, they'll align with you. Other people want to stop you from uh, having the life of your dreams come into reality and getting in a relationship with people who harness high vibe King of Wands energy. So they're shadowy people. And that's the whole thing about duality. This is all spiritual warfare. You know, it's all energetic warfare. There's going to be people who want to stop you from moving forward, thinking they have the right to control you. If that's a friend or a family member or a former love interest or just a new person you meet in the world, they see you looking victorious. They want to be in some sort of relationship with you, and then they think that it should be all about them. Their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego, their image. As you're moving forward, there's going to be other people who harness high vibe King of Wands Aries energy that see that you have freed yourself from your more egoic nature and other people in your life that could be in more shadowy energy, and they're motivated and inspired by you, and they want to be in a relationship with you because they're on the same page as you, and they have no intention of trying to manipulate you or control you. They're attracted to you because you know they see you as someone who's on the same page as them. They also are people who have done the work to get out of their more egoic and defensive nature, who are bold and brave and confident, and they want to grow themselves to their full potential. And they think you're someone who won't try to dominate and control and manipulate them like other people in their life have done, and that you're motivated to be all that you can be, and that together you're both people who let love and intuition guide your decisions. And there's other people in the world who don't like that. Because if they are someone who wants to look victorious, and to be in a relationship with you would make them look victorious, they want to be in a relationship with you. But that isn't their intention. So I think as you're moving forward, this could also be saying just to listen to your intuition about different people who might communicate with you, who view you as a choice in love, who's trying to create an illusion about who they are, who wants to move forward in a relationship with you, and it's all about creating this illusion. It's good for their image or their status or their ego, or try to convince you that they know best and you should let them control you. If it's not a love interest, just someone in your life who thinks they know better, and that you should invest in, whatever they say, and it's really an illusion. Don't speak the truth. Don't keep things buried. Keep trying to manipulate people. Don't tell people the truth. Keep moving forward in your ego. Shadowy people don't have your best interest at heart. They don't want you to grow to your full potential. They don't want you to be bold and brave and listen to your intuition and love to guide your life. Maybe because some of them, if they're just someone in your life who's like a friend or a family member, if they're living a life of illusion, well, they don't want you to go live the life of your dreams. It would make them feel bad about the relationship they're in. You know, they weren't bold and brave enough to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams. They're in a life of illusion of trying to present how wonderful their life is. But they could have gotten in that relationship because of fear and insecurity. And maybe that person doesn't require them to be authentic. Maybe they're indulging someone in a relationship. Maybe someone is indulging them and they're the bossy and controlling person. And if they're living a life of illusion, they want you to live a life of illusion too. Don't see the truth. Make your life about ego and image. Go get in a relationship with someone else who wants to be in a relationship with you, not the loving, just, and fair people who want you to grow to your full potential. Go get in a relationship with other people who manipulate you and control you in your fear and your insecurity and your pride and your ego. Other shadowy people in our life do not have our best interest. And that's why we need to quit aligning with our own shadowy nature or codependent nature or fearful and insecure nature, because there's a lot of people in the world who would love to be in a relationship with us, being in us in our more immature, indulgent, fearful, insecure, lustful, prideful, egotistical, immature way of living life, so that they can manipulate and control us based on those issues, and that we'll be in a relationship with them and indulge them. And if we want to be free, we need to align with seeing through our fears and insecurities to see the truth, to go within to gain insight and understanding about what we weren't seeing. And if we had other people in our life who were trying to who weren't acting from love, who were being prideful and egotistical and defensive and not dealing with their issues, we need to move on and deal with our fears about moving on, because our dream cannot come into reality with those people. And we need to take some bold, brave, confident action. And we need to stand up for ourselves and take the lessons that we've learned to face our fears and insecurities about moving forward. And we need to start investing time, energy, and effort into listening to our intuition and love to guide us versus our fear or codependency, and wrap our brain around this game of life. Educate ourselves that if other people are in shadowy energy, they have not freed themselves and they don't want us to be free. And if we want to be free, we need to invest time, energy, and effort and take action to move forward in our life away from those people and move away from our own egoic nature and codependent nature, and work and invest time, energy, and effort into other people in the world who seem to harness a more high vibrational energy, who aren't operating from ego and defensiveness and illusion, and who aren't caught up in the illusion of the world, who know their worth and value, who are bold and brave and confident and authentic in the world. What about the shadowy people? So some people who are going to communicate with you, some of those people are listening to their intuition, and they have a pretty good idea. Well, they want to find out if you have seen. The high vibe people want to know the truth. If you really have like grown and matured yourself and discovered some things within yourself that you were not previously seeing the truth of, and if you have learned to stand up for yourself and love yourself and look at life as an adventure to be lived, not letting fear and insecurity run your life. Some other people might come into your life and they don't realize that you have done all those things, and they might think that you're someone who is operating more from ego and they can tempt you in your ego, and they're going to kind of be in for a rude awakening because you're going to tell them the things, I'm no longer, if there's someone you knew from your past, that you feel was bossy and controlling and prideful and egotistical and unloving and unkind, you're going to tell them that, you don't have illusions about who they are, that you've worked through your emotional confusion about the whole situation, and you're invested in moving forward and you're not interested in investing in someone from your past. And also, some of you, there are consequences to our actions. If any of you hadn't gotten in a relationship with other people, or you had ended a relationship with someone previously because you had lessons to learn and you could have gotten in a different relationship and now you've gotten out of it, there could be some people who are defensive to you because, you, well, I think the people who are kind of moving a little, if they got in new relationships with loving people and they're not operating from ego, they're going to be defensive to you being in a relationship with them as well. They should, if they're in listening to their intuition and they're moving forward with people who have also, they're on the same page and they're in loving, bold, relationships. Of course they should be defensive to you. That would be indulging in their ego to get in a relationship with you. Other people, some people might communicate with you that as you're moving forward, if you communicated to someone in your past that you're moving forward, and that you would like to maybe move forward with them, some of those people are doing the work within themselves to deal with some of their own issues and to listen to their intuition because they don't want to take action towards you out of ego or past pain and heartbreak, or be caught up in illusion. But they might want to talk to you to see the truth. Some of them won't talk to you because they're just moving forward listening to their own intuition and it's telling them, so anyway. And then it doesn't matter if someone's from your past or someone from your future. The whole idea is that I'm moving forward in truth. I'm listening to my intuition. I'm taking the lessons I've learned not to repeat past patterns. If I think I don't want to operate out of ego because there's karmic consequences that happen from that, I'm going to speak my truth. And the people who don't want to speak their truth won't be moving forward with me. If people are willing to speak their truth and they have learned lessons from life experience that they're willing to share and communicate, then maybe we'll all find out we're on the same page now where we weren't before. But I think if you know some shadowy people that, I would say the people in your life, if you were a loving, giving person before, and if people treated you, if they did things to try to emotionally manipulate you, they purposely were defensive to you, they wanted to try to emotionally confuse you, and they did all this gaslighting basically that was unloving and unkind, I would say maybe not those people. But we can end relationships with people and it can be confusing, but people aren't being defensive and argumentative with us. People aren't trying to emotionally confuse us about the truth. That for some reason, my own fears and insecurities, my own illusions that I have about other people, I'm not able to move forward with you in a relationship right now, and a relationship doesn't move forward. Those are the type of people you probably work things through because they didn't treat you, might have put you in your shadow energy, but they weren't being shadowy with you. They were trying to be truthful and upfront. The people who default to shadowy energy kind of, oops. Those might be people who in their Libra energy think it's just and fair to live more from their mind than their heart. Instead of taking more bold, brave, confident action in their life or listening to their intuition to guide them. They could be people who just like to live more from their mind than their heart. And they might like to be in more transactional relationships where it's kind of finding someone where, how about I give you this and you give me that, and I'll hide from love. And some of those people right now could be in a relationship with someone else, again, repeating a pattern where they're hiding that they love the world more, or some of them could love a Capricorn and want to be in a relationship with a Capricorn, but maybe a Capricorn isn't in a relationship with them. But they could get in relationships with people and it's kind of like indulging in their ego, hiding from love and hiding from growing and maturing themselves, and hiding the fact that I am more aligned with my worldly or egoic nature. But if you're willing to exchange resources with me, I'll be in a relationship with you, so long as you don't make me see the truth of who I am. Or let's see, what are they hiding up here? The Page of Wands, the Eight of Cups. Some people are kind of in relationships with other people because other people walked away from them and they're still in their ego about it. And so basically, if people haven't healed from a relationship of the past, it could be getting in relationships, creating an illusion, but they're really defensive to really bringing the dream into reality and being more vulnerable and authentic in a relationship, because they still have this illusion about taking action towards someone in their past, or I really don't want to do love. I really am more tempted by money and materialism and status and image. And if someone I wanted to be in a relationship with who has those things of the world wasn't willing to be in a relationship with me, if that person ever gets out of that relationship and I could be in a relationship with them, I will leave this relationship to go get in a relationship with that person. And that person could do that a lot of times because they have some hard lessons to learn. It can kind of be like someone being addicted to someone. And why are we kind of have a feeling of being addicted to someone? Because we have a lot of lessons to learn from that person. We might be confused about what our own truth is. We could be used to indulging people, being codependent on people to try to bring our dreams into reality. And we might have had a lot of work to do about the things that, dealing with our own issues. And the purpose of going through those relationships was to get us to do that work within ourselves and to deal with our own inner issues, so we would be more bold and brave and confident within ourselves and be willing to stand up for what we deserve in relationships. And some people are repeating past patterns, and we'll all keep investing in repeating a past pattern until we see the truth. And I think the biggest truth of all is to learn to do this inner work within ourselves, because Virgo is about going within to dealing with the things we, and also to see the truth about the world that we hadn't seen, because if you're a very loving, giving, nurturing person, not everybody's on the same page as you, and we can have these illusions about people that, oh, one day they'll do this work, one day they'll be more blah blah blah, and they're not. They do operate more from their egoic nature, and they're going to keep staying immature and indulgent. They're going to keep staying, whatever their shadow issue is. And if we don't start to do the work within ourselves to realize that I deserve to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as me, and quit kind of enabling people in their poor behavior, quit repeating this pattern of loving other people who are kind of prideful and egotistical and aren't treating me the same way. And we'll keep repeating that pattern until we see the truth. And when we see the truth, it's no longer trying to get other people to love us. It's like I have to learn to love myself so that I'm not chasing down kind of people who aren't treating me the way I treat them. And make the decision that I'm only going to invest and listen to my intuition. And it was also maybe to learn to listen to your intuition more to guide you than, your lust or your greed or your ego, and to grow and mature yourself and to communicate with people in the world who you think are high vibe people in the world. Tell us what's coming up for the people who harness high vibe Leo energy. New beginnings in love with other people who are nurturing and loving, who've emotionally grown and matured themselves, who want to be in long term, emotionally loving foundations, who want to invest in other people who've learned lessons in life. So we have the King and Queen of Pentacles, people who have both learned lessons in life. They've both learned how to love and believe in themselves. They're willing to invest in being a loving, nurturing partner in relationships, no longer in their fear, in their insecurity, in their ego, in their more indulgent nature. Because of the Tower, they've seen that when they hadn't learned to love themselves, relationships didn't work out because they were an unbalanced relationship. It was an unstable relationship. The only way to have a stable foundation is where both people are operating from a foundation of love. And the people who have learned that lesson are letting go of the past because they've seen the truth that if they hadn't learned to love and believe in themselves, they were enabling poor behavior in themselves, enabling poor behavior in others, and they weren't in a just and fair and balanced relationship. And they've seen the truth of it. So I think you're going to have a new beginning with someone who's on the same page as you. Let's go look at the people down here who are in shadowy energy, who might be drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with some people that they need to learn lessons from because they haven't seen the truth yet. What is coming up for them? Rejecting this energy, the Death card, unwilling to detach from old ways of being to transform their life and give birth to something new, not willing to make a decision in their Emperor energy that's best for all aspects of themselves. They're still making decisions that are kind of just best for their fiery nature, makes them feel safe, has them in their ego. They're unwilling to change, to put an end to either wanting to look like a boss in the world, thinking they're the boss in the world, thinking I can do whatever I want. So long as people are confused about the truth, I can keep investing in this illusion of who I am. Well, and it might be just that they're fearful, insecure people and emotionally defensive people. And it is to kind of keep maintaining this illusion that they're the stable, grounded person because they might have a lot of healing to do. Some people won't communicate with people that they're ready to bring a dream into reality because they have to do this work within themselves to get balanced within themselves. And they need to do this work to learn how to love their worldly nature. So, we have to learn to love ourselves, flaws and all, and admit the truth to ourselves that, like I've been selfish, I've been greedy, I've been prideful, I've been egotistical, I've been wanting things my way, I've been wanting to be indulged. We have to learn to love our worldly nature and not like shun and condemn it and then like want to lock it in a closet and think I'm not going to deal with it or acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge it and love it so that we can temper our beastly nature and be a true leader in the world, because otherwise we could be in shadowy Scorpio energy of black and white thinking of, I'm just going to ignore that I have a shadow nature, and as long as I ignore it, and as long as I present myself a certain way in the world and people buy into the illusion of who I am, then I don't have to deal with it. But they're kind of have this black and white thinking of, I'll just present myself this way in the world so everybody views me a certain way. But you can't ignore your worldly, shadowy nature. But some people might think they can, but it ends up blowing up in their face. If they're hiding that they love someone else, until they heal from that and reconcile themselves with it, it's kind of like you shouldn't be in another relationship with someone. That's unjust and unfair. If you are hiding the fact that you're really kind of self-centered and egotistical and materialistic, but you're not being honest about that, eventually it's going to show its face. The truth's going to come out, and that's kind of unjust, unfair. Live your authentic life. If you're kind of self-centered, egotistical, and materialistic, tell people the truth. This is how I view life. This is what really drives and motivates me. There's going to be people who are on the same page that are like, hey, you go. Yeah. Be honest, be truthful. But some people are all about themselves and they don't want to put an end to being all about themselves. They could also hide that they turned their back on loving, mature, strong people in their life because they didn't want to make decisions that were best for everyone involved. They only want to make decisions that are best for themselves. They don't want to change. They want to keep living their life a certain way and maybe having people view them a certain way. And they just don't want to change for some of them, And if other people that were loving and encouraging in their life wanted them to step outside their comfort zone, and they have a lot of fear of stepping outside their comfort zone, of living life differently, where it would require they grow and mature themselves and face some of their fears and insecurities, they could have turned their back on those people and getting in relationships with new people, hiding the truth, and kind of not telling those people that I don't want to walk away from my illusions that I have about myself or my life or how I view relationships. I do operate from my egoic nature. I am defensive to going within, so long as you're willing to be caught up in the illusion of life with me and live life and repeat these patterns of whatever way I live my life that I keep repeating over and over. I view myself, they probably view themselves as a very stable, grounded, nurturing, brave, strong person, but they're not willing to step out of their comfort zone, do life any differently, defensive to being enlightened to why they do what they do. They don't look at life as an adventure to be lived. It is about maintaining a certain status and image in the world, and they take comfort probably in thinking people view them a certain way, and that's how they want to keep living their life. So they're recreating an illusion with someone else that they're kind of willing to bring a dream into reality, and I don't think they're being truthful and honest. And eventually, the people in their life will maybe see the truth and they'll move on from them too. And just like other people, it's learning. Why do we come in contact with people like that? Is to learn that not everybody views life the same way we do. That some people have a lot of fear and insecurities. Some people have these grandiose illusions of who they are, and they fully believe, that would be a narcissist, they fully believe the illusion that they have about who they are, but that's really who they present themselves to be is not who they are. They could be hiding from the world that they're kind of really immature, and they indulge their more immature nature, and they do think life is about indulging themselves in their ego and this illusion of who they are, and they present this way of being to the world, and they're okay with that. And if anybody sees through the illusion of who they are, they become defensive to those people because those people invested in seeing through the illusion, and those people moved on. And then they hide the fact that those people moved on because they truly want the dream to come into reality with people, where people are emotionally independent and are open to love and vulnerable to love. And this person just kind of creates an illusion. They like the illusion of love, but they don't really want to do what it takes to be authentically vulnerable and loving in a relationship. They just want to indulge in the illusion of love, and they hope other people want to indulge them in that illusion and never require them to grow and mature themselves. It's really all just about them. And they also might be a little bit that life's just about death, sex, and taxes, and creating this illusion of who I am in the world, and it's all about me, and I'm not willing to change. And when it comes down to it, I might actually be emotionally cold and detached underneath, because it is just all about me and my illusion of who I am. And if someone sees through the illusion, I definitely don't want to be in a relationship with them, because I have this illusion about myself, and I like to indulge in relationships in this illusion. And I only want to be in relationships with other people who buy into the illusion of who I am. So some of you definitely might have dealt with a narcissist, and some of you learned some valuable lessons from that life experience, and you're moving on, listening to your intuition, and it looks like you're either getting into a new workplace and a new job, or you're definitely getting into a relationship with a counterpart who's on the same page as you. So there you go, Leo. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.